Hi, it's me, Andrea. Today I'm making this video because I'm celebrating 8 years since I arrived to America. And I have a story for you, but I have two rules. First one, this story is not meant for you to see me as a victim. I'm not a victim. I will never be a victim again in my life. So never see me as a victim, please. Second, this story is not meant for you to judge me. I have my fair share of mistakes. I know I made bad decisions in my life. And I carry with the cruxes and the consequences of those bad decisions. I already know that. So, if you're still here listening, this is how the story begins. Actually, I wish I could start this story saying, here comes Andrea, arriving to the international airport of Miami, January 29, 2013, with a full suitcase full of clothes and a head full of dreams. But the truth is not that. I arrived to Miami with half a case full of clothes and a head full of sorrow and sadness and confusion. This started a few months before. My son and my ex-wife left America because she wanted to start a new life with a good man. It was really hard not only to see the girl of my dreams and the love of my life, but also taking with her the only one thing that really makes sense in my whole life. That was my son. I was extremely depressed, and I was only me to blame. You see, we tried to get back together, and sadly, this 2 million people city where I live, suddenly everybody was gossiping about my life. I never imagined I would become so infamous so suddenly because I wanted to become my real self, to be me. But my ex-wife couldn't take it, and I don't blame her. I hardly could take it myself. In this confusion and sadness and heartbreaking process of a divorce with the person I care the most, I gave up on my custody rights of my son. Between me being suicidal and really poor advice, I didn't find myself any better option than give every single I could give to her to make her life easier. And I started planning myself to end mine. So they left. I still remember that night that we hugged each other, the three of us, for the last time. The last day I spent with my son, having him in my arms. He was 2 years and a half, and by now he hardly remembers me. And I don't blame him. That's the truth. That is how life ended being for me. This is how I ended up just carrying myself for the next few months, trying to make it a little bit longer, because I was too coward to take my life. I started planning myself to go to another country, in this case Argentina, and ended up there, just disappeared for the world. I talked to my dad a few months later. It was almost November 2012. I told him how I was feeling, and despite him being so hard about understanding my transition, he told me, I don't understand why you're doing this, but I love you and I want to see you happy. I will always love you. He gave me some money and gave me the opportunity to travel a little bit. This was the plan. I know the gossip is really bad. You are in the middle of the storm. Maybe if you go away for a few months, things will calm down and you can come back and restart your life. And we'll see. I took the opportunity to buy a plane ticket to Miami. My plan actually was to try to see my son one last time. You see, my dear internet viewer, I was never expecting to stay in America. My plan was really see my son one last time, then go back to Bolivia and eventually go to Argentina and disappear. Those were the final steps of my journey, and I see no more light at the end of the tunnel. I took the plane, coming to visit a cousin in Tampa, but when I take the plane, I really didn't know what to expect. That was a whole new world. I always have an adventurous spirit and I love to travel, but this was no fun adventure. This was a step in the journey I really was looking forward to accomplish before anything else. I came to Miami, and instead of a suitcase full of clothes, I was half a case, half of clothes. And my head wasn't full of dreams, was full of sorrow and confusion, and I was scared to death. Truthfully, I tried to do the best I could with what I got. I ran myself into the ladies' room, changed my clothes, my to female clothes, and I tried to enjoy the experience for whatever it lasts, as much as possible. There was me, Andrea, in front of the world, with no future and no hope, but still I was there, standing up my ground for whatever it meant. I remember I really didn't have that much money. Again, I wasn't expecting to stay. I was going to stay in my cousin's house for a few months until I could find a way to meet my son and then just go back home. So there in the airport in Miami, January 29, 2013, I bought a bus ticket and I explicitly asked for the longest ride, 8 hours on the bus from Miami to Tampa. You'll see, I have no rush. That was really no, I was really didn't have anywhere to go. But I wanna say, I love the sea, and I got myself a little bit excited about meeting new places, even it was just bypassing them on a bus. That was a long ride. It gave me time to think. It was so funny. At some point, I have a checkpoint, and a guy saw my passport, and he said, obviously I didn't look the same as in the passport. I don't even look the same now as I used to look that day when I arrived 8 years ago. And the guy looked at me and say is that you? And I was like, yeah. Is this your name? I was like, yeah. You need to update your picture, lady. And I was like, I know. I intend to do it. And that's pretty much all the English I have. I remember arriving to Tampa almost when there was the sunset and going through the Sky Drive Bridge. I really saw the sunset right there when I was leaving the top of the Sky Drive Bridge, and I fall in love of Tampa. That same minute I saw that. I just fall in love of this city. The sunset, the sea, the opportunities of the city. You know, I arrived to Tampa and I never left. 8 years ago, when I fall hopeless and I lost everything in my life, and I didn't have not even $100 in my pocket, and not even enough clothes to change for a week, I was emerging from a new opportunity in my life. Despite everything I lost in my life, at the end, somehow, I worked really hard to make it through. There were so many tears and so many great moments and so many green situations, but I didn't lose myself. I never saw my son again. I never got a chance to see him in person. But he's still there. He's growing strong and healthy. He's growing love. And I love him every day. I wake up and I think about him. And I know he's good. And he's happy. And that's all it matters to me. I'm happy too now. Even though I will always carry a broken heart, because he's the part I will always miss. But we both got a new opportunity in life, and we both embrace it. And he's the best part of me that I can live in this world. So, son, if you see this message, I want you to know I love you. And I think about you every day. And I am very proud of you. And I hope someday you can be proud of me. This wasn't the end of the journey for me. And I am still hopeful that things can change. After all, this is America, right? I guess this is the end of my story. There is not much more to tell. Thank you so much. Have a good day. I guess I'll see you next year.